We've got a lot of Bay Area love in the studio today, from Pilo to our friends from Eats by E, who are switching up your eating experience with pop-up dinners. We've got Chef Eric Pasquale and sommelier Carlos. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the YCL kitchen. When you talk about switching it up, you guys have been doing a lot of these pop-up dinners, which are really becoming popular. What is a pop-up dinner for those who don't know?
So it's usually a pre-ticketed event where people go online, they find the menus that we post, and then they just basically book, usually up to a month ahead of time.
What do you like about doing these types of dinners as a way to share your food?
I get to come up with my own menus, own inspiration that I had, a lot of it from just pretty much growing up in the Bay Area. Stuff that my mom would create, my parents would create. And just different stuff from my culture as well. Okay,
very good, very good. So I see you brought some food here, and you're going to make something for us.
Yep.
This is one of my favorites, but tell us what you're doing.
So this is a shrimp lumpia. This is actually inspired by my mom's cooking. She would, it's not your traditional lumpia. She would go to Chinese restaurants and order the least authentic thing on the menu, which is a crab rangoon. And so this is kind of her twist on it. We're doing shrimp, sort of the same kind of inspiration with the cream cheese, scallions, a few other spices in there.
Okay, so it seems like you have it already wrapped up, and then how do you finish it off?
So we're just going to fry it in there.
Okay, go for it.
All right, let's go for it.
And tell me a little bit about your background, Eric. And you mentioned your mom, your dad, but what really, solidified your love for food and creating?
Part of it is I spent a lot of my childhood in Hawaii. So I was born actually in the Bay Area, but I would spend my summers from when I was like 3 till I was about 17. And with my grandparents, my grandfather migrated to Hawaii from the Philippines. And he just loved to cook. He would cook for our family, friends, groups of up to like 100 people. And I would just spend those summers in the kitchen with him, learning like some of the most basic dishes. I gotta admit, it started with spam and top ramen, and it's just evolved since then.
Very nice. I would say it has evolved looking by what you brought here. Okay, Carlos, let's bring you into the conversation. You have a little bit of a wine background, and so you kind of help with like pairing the wine. So tell me about that and how you sparked your love for wine.
So how it all started was in culinary school. And that's how it sparked up, with a love for Filipino food and pairing wines with it, because it's uncommon around the area. Some people introduced it, but with Eric's food, it's very wine friendly.
And I'm assuming with these pop-up dinners, the wine, the drinks are an important part of the experience.
Right, that one as well. And we want the whole experience to be accessible to everyone.
Okay.
It's sort of like an educational dinners per se.
Because these dinners are open to anybody. Anybody can go.
Pretty much.
Someone who wants to try, loves the food, or maybe wants to try a new type of cuisine.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
A lot of people go solo too as well. So.
And so how is this different from the restaurant experience? A little more intimate?
A little bit more intimate, and we encourage everyone to kind of socialize. The kitchen is usually open. It's kind of set up in an open kitchen where we cook in front of the guests. We encourage everyone to take photos, interact with us. We try to share the inspiration behind each dish, stories behind it as well.
Very good. Okay, so while this lumpia is frying up, tell us what else you brought.
So we've got raspberry bibinka. That was actually inspired by this movie called Deuce Bigelow. Rob Schneider, who's half Jewish and half Filipino, mentions his mom's raspberry bibinka. It's inspired by that.
And this is Eric's bibinka.
The beefsteak is something my grandfather would prepare, but it's done differently with a more tender cut of meat braised for about 5 hours.
Ooh.
And that's a dish that my mom would prepare often. It's a ginataang, which is a Dungeness crab stew. Coconut cream, lemongrass, bagoong, which is a shrimp paste, and patis, which is fish sauce.
I love the presentation. Okay, Carlos, so what would we pair with those?
So for the lumpia, I would highly recommend something that's sparkling.
Okay, sparkling.
Some Blanc de Blancs or champagne. For the ginatan, I would go for something like Sauvignon Blanc or Chenin Blanc per se, something from the Loire Valley in France. The beefsteak, look for some Syrahs from the Northern Rhone or some Cabernets up from Napa, since we're close to that area. For the bibinka, we could go for some sweet wine, some sauternes as a good example for that.
Okay, lots of ideas there, Eric. Where do you host these events, and how often are you having them?
We host them about once a month, and we host them mostly in the Bay Area, but we also travel as well, and we're hoping to have one in Sacramento. We're doing Seattle at the end of March. I'm sorry, the end of March. Portland in April, and Hawaii in April as well.
Oh wow! So you guys are all over the place. How can they keep up with all of your pop-ups?
They can check us out on eatsbye.com or on social media. Instagram, it's eats, EATS _by_e.
Okay, very good. Okay, so I've been smelling this all morning long. Can I take a taste?
Yeah, sure.
And what's the dipping sauce?
So it's a sweet and savory chili sauce.
Sweet and savory. All right, I just have to do this. Good.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, guys.
This interview involves commercial content. The products and services featured appear as paid advertising.